Yes, we're going to start with the remarkable breaking news in the last hour or so when quotes from Manchester United co-owner Jim Ratcliffe emerged. Our chief correspondent Kaveh Solokol will talk us through it too. Now, speaking to the business podcast produced by The Times and The Sunday Times, Sir Jim revealed he's giving head coach Ruben Amorim 3 years to prove himself and patience is needed. Well, Sir Jim Ratcliffe said this: Ruben needs to demonstrate he is a great coach over 3 years. Asked if Amorim is going to get 3 years, Ratcliffe replied, yes. That is where I would be. 3 years, because football is not overnight. You also look at Arteta at Arsenal. He had a miserable time over the first couple of years. We have to be patient. We have a long-term plan. It isn't a light switch. You can't run a club like Manchester United on knee-jerk reactions to some journalist who goes off on one every week. Well, Amorim has a contract until the end of the 2026-27 season, when he would have been in charge for 2.5 years, with the option of an extra year. As he approaches the first anniversary of his appointment, his position continues to be under scrutiny. The Portuguese has failed to record back-to-back Premier League wins. United finished 15th last season, their worst top division finish since 1974, and they were knocked out of the League Cup by League Two Grimsby in August. Well, during this extraordinary interview with the Times Business podcast, Sir Jim compared Amorim's poor start at United with Mikel Arteta's first few years at Arsenal. Well, Amorim has won just 10 of his first 34 Premier League games at United, drawing 7 and losing 17, managing only 37 points. In Arteta's first 34 games, the Arsenal manager won 47 points. He won 13 games, drew 8 and lost 13. 10 points more than Amorim. So, as you've seen, our chief correspondent, Kaveh Solokol, is with us. Really poor run of results since Amorim took over at United. So does this news this evening come as a massive surprise?
Look, I mean, it's significant that Jim Ratcliffe has come out and backed Ruben Amorim, but realistically, he was on a podcast to discuss business and he was asked some questions about football, and what is he going to say? He's not going to sit there and say if Ruben doesn't win the next couple of games then we're going to make a change. We all know how football works. Before the next international break, United have got 4 games: Liverpool, Brighton, Forest, Spurs. What happens if Manchester United lose all those games? There'll be another international break. Everybody will be talking about Ruben Amorim's future again. I think it's a very significant intervention by Jim Ratcliffe to come out and back Ruben Amorim. I personally think the backing is not 100%. If you actually look at the quotes, he's not coming out and saying, come what may, Ruben Amorim is not leaving. He will be the head coach for the next 3 years. He's just saying Ruben needs to demonstrate he's a great coach over 3 years.
Yeah,
we have to be patient.
A nuance, isn't it?
We have to be patient. We have a long-term plan. It isn't a light switch. It's not a light switch, but Manchester United are one of the biggest clubs in the world. I would say the only clubs that really compare to them on a worldwide basis are Real Madrid and Barcelona. What would journalists in Spain who cover Real Madrid or Barcelona be saying if Real Madrid finished 15th in the table? What would they be saying if their new manager was bottom of the table when it came to results since he'd taken over? So I don't know why Jim Ratcliffe is having a go at the media. The media are just doing their job and reporting facts. No one is having knee-jerk reactions. The bottom line is, it is not acceptable for Manchester United to be 15th or to be losing games consistently and not to have ever won back-to-back league games under Ruben Amorim. What are journalists supposed to do? They're going to say the manager is under pressure. And no matter what Jim Ratcliffe says, Ruben Amorim is under pressure if results don't improve. And I would still think that if United don't finish in the Champions League places at the end of this season, then there will be big question marks over Ruben Amorim's future if he's still in position at United.
What did you make of the fact he tried to use Mikel Arteta as, let's call it a make-weight to Amorim's position? Because what he said is not true. He said he struggled as well. Arsenal finished 8th, 5th, and then they've been runners-up in the last 3 seasons.
This first season,
nothing like Amorim.
First season, Mikel Arteta took over midway through the season. I think it was in December 2019. I think one of their first games they actually beat Manchester United. The end of that first season, Arteta was only in charge for 5 months. They won the FA Cup. They beat Chelsea, I think, 2-1 in the final. So within a few months of him being in charge, they'd won a trophy. Then they finished 8th, 5th, 2nd, 1st. Also, Arsenal's revenues over the past 6 seasons, I think since Arteta has been at the Emirates, the revenues have increased by 55%. United's revenues over that period have gone up by 6%. So I don't think it's totally fair to compare Arteta to Amorim. I'm sure if Mikel Arteta is watching tonight and he sees this, he'll be rolling his eyes and going, OK, I had a little bit of a difficult start. I had a big job on my hands at Arsenal, but I think I did a pretty good job. And finishing 8th, 5th, and then 2nd, and 1st at the moment, I think Arteta has done a fantastic job.
We looked at previous Manchester United managers who had far better records than him and got sacked. Why is he still in the role?
I think one of the reasons United are in the predicament they're currently in is because they have gone through too many managers. Since Sir Alex Ferguson left, they haven't won the title since Ferguson left. And if you look back at the managers they've had, you could make a pretty good case for saying they would be in a better position if they'd kept those managers. David Moyes was the first one. He did not get enough time at United. Look at the job he's gone on to do at West Ham. Look at the job he's doing at Everton. You could make a pretty good case for saying he should have stayed. Louis van Gaal, one of the best head coaches in the world, he won the FA Cup at United, was sacked the next day. Jose Mourinho, one of the all-time greats, he said finishing 2nd at United was his greatest achievement considering the circumstances and what was happening at the club. He won a European trophy, he won the League Cup as well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, not too long ago, I remember Manchester United were top of the table under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He lost his job as well. Erik ten Hag won 2 trophies, but I think it's fair to say that he probably deserved to lose his job because of his record in the transfer market. So I can understand what Jim Ratcliffe is saying in a way. He's saying, if you look at the record of our managers since Alex Ferguson left, we have sacked too many. It's now time to back the manager we have. He's proven that he's a winner in Portugal. Now we've got to give him time to prove that in this country.
I still think it was unwise to compare Amorim with Arteta. Look at the spending here. This is United's spending since Amorim got there, and that is Arsenal's. Again, not good reading for United.
I mean, I totally agree with you. Manchester United have spent an incredible amount of money in the transfer market. Their transfer debt at the moment is £447 million. The problems at United have been, for my opinion, the ownership model, which means that a lot of money is taken out of the club, and also problems with player trading, because you have to say their record in the transfer market has been abysmal. But against that whole backdrop is the fact that Manchester United are still commercially incredibly successful. Even though they finished 15th in the Premier League last season, they were the best supported club in Europe. 2.2 million fans went to watch them at Old Trafford. Their match day revenue, people make jokes about the fact that the roof at Old Trafford was leaking. Their match day revenue in their latest accounts is a record sum, way ahead of anybody else in the Premier League. So there are things that have gone wrong at United, but underlying it all is the fact that commercially they make a lot of money and they have the most incredible, loyal, committed fans. All they need now is to get the right ownership model and also to get the right head coach and the right players on the pitch.
So are you saying, even though Sir Jim is playing softly with his head coach, he's been ruthless, absolutely ruthless with people at the club, cut jobs, stop free lunches, all of that. Are United on a firm financial stable footing?
Well, according to what he said in his interview, he said they are. He said that he believes that Manchester United would become the most profitable football club in the world under him. And also, it's very significant. One of the reasons he's backed Ruben Amorim is because Ruben Amorim is his man. When he took control of sporting affairs at Manchester United, he inherited Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag was not his choice. He didn't pick Erik ten Hag. He made a mistake by giving Erik ten Hag a new contract. But then, pretty quickly, he realised he'd made a mistake and he made a change. And he went all in on Ruben Amorim. So I think it would be very, very problematic for Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos to come out now and say, you know what, we made another mistake. We made a mistake giving Ten Hag a new contract. We made a mistake paying to get Dan Ashworth in from Newcastle United. We made a mistake paying off Dan Ashworth. We made a mistake paying off Ten Hag. That cost millions and millions, I think 17 million altogether. We paid £11 million to Sporting to get Ruben Amorim midway through last season. And if they were to sack him, they would have to pay him off and all his coaches as well. So they have a lot invested in Ruben Amorim. And I think that is one of the reasons why they're backing him so much. He is their man.
Kaveh Solokol, our chief correspondent, thank you very much.